Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on this slide here, which is our research slide. And specifically, this slide is supposed to help you to be able to look back at the passage on the previous slide and grab some information from it. So I have a clue that you not only read that passage and understood it, but also you're able to use the skills of claims and evidence. That's really it. I just want to be able to see that you read the passage and you can use claims and evidence. Now, for the first part, there's the main idea for the reading. Now, main ideas usually have three parts to them. The first part that main ideas have is you want to be able to find something that is either a title or a heading, and that usually will lead you to the main idea. It's a clue, as it were. So if we go up here, and I'm looking for that first thing, and again, that first thing is I'm looking for the main idea as a title, automatically, and I'm going to zoom in this for us so we can see what we're looking at, but automatically at the top, Geography of Ancient Egypt. So right away, that's going to be the main idea, is geography of ancient Egypt. Now, if I don't know what geography is, I can go back to our landform discussion if I need to, or I can, of course, look up that word. Geography is anything that has to do with the land. I know that because the word geo in this case refers to land. So this is kind of the studies of the land. And so if we're studying the land in a certain spot, that can help us out a little bit more. And so we're studying the land in ancient Egypt. Okay. And right below, it gives a kind of a little helper to us too. It says physical environment and how it may influence an economy and culture. So that's actually the main idea. Physical environment. So we're looking at geography and how it influences an economy and culture. Economy meaning the trade and how much goods and services they have. And the culture being who they are as a people. And so we need to be able to establish that. But that is the main idea. And so now that I've figured out that the main idea is literally this sentence here, now I can go here and kind of type that out. So again, I'm going to take the time and I'll zoom out here. So we're looking for main idea. And I'm going to put a text box. Again, I click over here and I put a text box here. And I'll make it a size that we can all read. And I say the main idea of the passage of the geography. Let's do that. Let's do geography passage. Is how the land affects, or affected, I guess this is past tense, right? Affected the economy. I'm going to make it even more simple. The trade and the people. Okay, so this is my statement that I'm making, and I'm going to change the background color just so we can see it. And there we go. There's my main idea. Now, there's a couple other ways you can find a main idea. That one is my favorite way because it's really clear and concise. Some other ways we can kind of test this, we can go back and see if this is true, is any words that repeat themselves. So let's take a look here and see words and phrases that kind of repeat themselves. So if I'm looking out here, and I'm going to grab a shape here, and let's do a color. So now I've kind of identified here some of the words and phrases that have to do with the same concept. So I have Nile and river a lot of places, as you see. Um, there's a lot of different spots where Nile and river is kind of repeating itself. So I think now we can even add this to our main idea. It doesn't have to just be that the main idea of the geography passage is how the land affected the trade and people, but instead of just the land, we can say the Nile River. So how the Nile River affected the trade and the people. And I'm going to be more specific here, of ancient Egypt. Just adding some pieces here. So that's how you do the main idea. Now the next part of this is asking you to identify one claim stated in the text. Now this is where you have the option to kind of do what you want to do. You have choices here. I think the main claim that I'm going to make is that silt deposits in the water or near the river made the land able to be farmed. I think that's the statement I'm going to make, because that's really the important part of the Nile. Is the Nile made the land able to be farmland. You know, water equals crops, right? So, and I could make it really that simple. I could literally write water equals crops if I wanted to. That is a claim, but I want to use a complete sentence. So I'm going to say the Nile River allowed for the soil silt to be able to be farmed. And I'll make this a little bigger so people can see it. And I might even write claim. Yep. So there is my claim. The Nile River, let's put a background just because we can. And let's do a different color this time. There we go. So claim the Nile River allowed for the soil silts to be able to be farmed. Okay. So now the next side is saying, okay, well, now we have to support this claim with a quote from the text. Okay. So if I'm looking back here, I see a couple. I see, however, when the Nile overflows each year, silt is deposited in the land near the river, which makes it fertile. Okay, and then around 4000 BC, the lands near the Nile banks became increasingly populated by farmers. So both of those seem really positive. So I'm going to take a second and I'm going to write that in as my quote. So here's that quote that I just found, and unfortunately, no, you're not done with this little section. I do have to put something here with the quotes. I have to make sure I have quotation marks. Yep, that's correct. I need to make sure I have quotation marks because it is not my writing. I could even say what sentence it is in the paragraph if I really want to, but I'm going to leave it just like that. And there we go. So now I have my main idea, my claim, my quote here. And so now I need some images. And so to do the images, I'm just going to, well, I don't need to, but I'm going to find some images that have to do with the Nile River. And to do that, I'm going to go up here to insert. I'm going to get image, and I'm going to go search the web. And this is where I have my little image box. So on the right-hand side, and I'm going to type in Nile River. And let's see what I can find. Ooh, let's do something like this. That's good. Now, unfortunately, this is not enough because this doesn't, and again, we have to look here, pictures that show the claim. So showing the claim here, if I said that the Nile River was long, this would be a great image to kind of insert here. But that doesn't really support that, it was used for farming. So I'm going to take a second and go back to my image search, and I'm going to type in farming. Oh, well, here we go. So I got some good pictures here for farming for the Nile River. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm also going to go back here, and I saw another one that's really cool. Wow, look at this. This is a nice image. So I got some farmland next to the river here in the Nile. So that's good. And it's even today. Look at that. Even today it's being used. But this picture is probably the best. Now it might be hard to kind of see what's going on here. But in this image, and maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can kind of see. So this is all the desert on the sides, right? But what do you see along the riverbanks here? What do you see there? All of that is green. It's all being farmed too. Do you see how it has these nice even rows? That's how you can tell from an aerial perspective that that's farmland. Wow. Isn't that crazy? In a desert, the river becomes the area of life. So there we go. I'm going to use that image. That's a really good image to kind of prove my point here. And maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger here. There we go. And try to get it inside the boxes. You see how I'm using these sides to kind of do that? So there we go. And now the last thing I got to do. One last thing. It says do a shortened summary of the reading. So writing here a web address kind of that shows. So www. Nile is the source of life.com. Remember, these addresses that we have, they do not, I'll just make it go over on the side here, but they do not have any spaces in them because they're web addresses, just like at the top here. So there's my address, and that summarizes what we're talking about. It's the source of life. And there you go. That is the completed slide for geography. Now, I would like you to try and do this for the other slides. Now, if you feel like you can only do one slide, you are more than welcome to do one and be done. If you feel like you understand this but want practice with it, you may do the other slides. I am only going to grade one slide that you do. You can choose which one you want to do. If you want to do economy, you can. If you want to do religion, more than welcome to. Or if you want to do in part 2, the social classes, you can. You just need to make sure that you turn in to me the slide that you're working on. And if you could, in the private comments, tell me which one that you completed so I can easily go to it and grade it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope this helped you in being able to reference or understand what it is you're being asked to do in this section.